Hello, Luca.
1 second. Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Very good. How are you doing? Nice
I'm
to meet you.
fine, thank you. Nice to meet you too. Uh, Tell me, how is the situation there for you? Where are you at the moment?
At the moment, I'm in Norway, where I work at the Norwegian
Yes,
National Ballet here in Oslo, and situation with COVID is, let's say, fine, but it's has been the last 3 4 weeks. The situation wasn't great, but I mean, here in Norway has never really been awful. The situation, fortunately.
really.
Yeah,
Mm.
so we managed to keep working. Of course, we are not performing for like a live audience. The moment we're just streaming, and but we still managed to go to work. Like work in small groups for rehearsal and small groups for classes, and then maybe when we go to the main stage, when we're ready to record. To do the recording or the live streaming, then we can start to put like the little groups together, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But did you have a lockdown like in
Yes.
March? You
In
did. Okay.
March, when it happened, it was sudden, of course, like I think
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yes.
And it was the night of our premiere. We were premiering 12 pieces, actually,
Mm.
with some masterpiece with Chroma of Wayne McGregor and Gods and Dogs, Voluntaries. We had many important premieres that
Mm.
night. I think it was 10th of March, something like this, of 2020. And we received the news, of course, that we were going in sudden lockdown. And
So you
from
had the news the day and during the
we
day,
were
but
we were
what
on
was the
stage. We were on stage with costumes on. We were on stage with costumes on. So it was like heartbreaking.
Yes. My
After like
God.
6 8 weeks of preparation, because it was a massive production. It was like yeah, as I told you, like 12 pieces. So there was so much preparation for it. And then on stage with costumes on, we've been called and they said like, we have to shut down the theater. We have to send everyone, there was already audience outside. They had to be sent home, and there it started the
Yeah.
lockdown
But
where
how did, I can just imagine if you stand there with your costume on and somebody says that to you, how did the dancers react? Did you
it was,
think it
it
was
was a bit
real?
it was a bit surreal, honestly. I mean, of course, there was this thing of the
Yeah.
COVID being COVID. We knew there was something going on, and we were like,
Yes.
I think in a few weeks, probably we're gonna have to stop. But like that was a huge premiere, and
Mm.
we were like, I'm sure, like no matter what, we're gonna find a solution for that premiere. It was really not in our mindset
Mm.
when that happened. It was really hard,
Mm.
honestly. It's just like there is so much passion and preparation and like
Exactly. Yeah.
sweat, blood, everything, injuries, fighting against everything to make that happen. And then suddenly something completely out of your hands, and you can't you just have to accept it. And it was like heartbreaking for the company, for the director, for everyone, not just the dancers. I mean, and I think as well for 2,000 people that they were there, paid their tickets and ready to watch the show. So
Yeah.
it was really hard.
It's all these little things, that we don't think about, and it's interesting to hear everybody's experience of how they heard and how it happened. And yeah, this is one that haven't heard before, that the audience was actually already there,
Yeah,
and that it's
it
yeah
was basically didn't come, like they were not in the audience. They were
yeah
just
yeah but
they were in the foyer. They were in the foyer,
yeah.
and because if I remember, it was something like that at 7 p.m. was the show, or 8
Yeah.
p.m. And at 7:45 the government released the press conference of
uh,
uh, of
of
the
the yeah
actual
yeah
new law, basically of the
mm,
new rules. And
mm,
it was crazy to
yeah
imagine. Then I mean, here in Norway, as I told you, like there have been like few weeks of lockdown,
yeah
and they decided for whoever was not from Norway, they said like you can go home now before we close every
oh I
every
see mm,
border. So
Mm.
I wanted to be close to my family in Italy. I felt it was a very dangerous place at the time in Italy,
Mm.
and I was like, I feel like I need to be close to them. Um, and so yes, after a few weeks, then it started with the like floor bar at home, like the Zoom
Yeah. So were
classes.
you then in Italy?
I was in
You,
Italy. I was in
you were.
Italy,
Yeah.
where fortunately at least I had some more facilities, a bit more space. But I
Mm.
can't imagine just like for people where they were maybe in a 30 square meters apartment, like when, I understand the companies, they want you to keep you fit and
Yeah.
to keep you trained and, like to not lose your purpose in life.
Mm.
And it's just, I mean, just I remember those times of taking class just like on a chair, like in your living room,
Yeah.
just like something we can't do for the job we do. We just can't.
Mm.
Smart working is not possible.
Yeah. This is definitely a thing that and this is why I talk to so many dancers, because uh, it's that um, the fact that you cannot just go anywhere and, like you say, hang on to a chair and do a proper bar. It's not possible. And also the space that you used to, in the studio, and also this energy between dancers, of course, this is, yeah.
I think I mean, of course, at the moment in the past year, um, anything that we could get, we would get, and what was fine,
Mm.
like any streaming or live streaming or recording and stuff like this, everything, of course, is well accepted, but we can't. I think I can speak for many, many dancers. We can't
Yeah.
anymore of the streaming. We miss that energy, that like that
Mm.
audience. It's different. We are performers. We are performers. It's so different to have like even a beautiful recording,
Mm.
many cameras, and like you can make great films, but it's just not what we are.
Yeah.
It's completely different to have that transmission of emotions and back and forth with them. Yeah.
Exactly. But I also think about the streaming, and I think the streaming has its place, and it's, of course, it has also the positive aspects of it, that it can reach a much bigger audience, and
Wider. Yeah.
yeah, and of course it gives you some sort of purpose then, because it's something that you can do. But I wonder about this, the stream, the filming of these live streams, that it also gives the audience just a very limited view, so it's basically what the cameraman is focusing on, or the person who's making these films. And then, yeah, so it also takes away from that, the whole picture
Of
that
course.
you normally see when you sit in the audience. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, and then every company recording, they have different, like, not just ability, but just different visions and stuff like this.
Exactly,
For
yeah.
example, in with the Opera House, we had the chance to work with some really talented crews, and many of them they ask, like, because they have different, they don't have the ballet eyes as well, like uh,
Yes,
we
yes.
want this angle, we want to see the
Mm.
group here, we want to focus on the on a close-up of the main character there, so it's nice when they listen to us in a
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
but it's of course it's not the full picture. It's never gonna
Mm,
be the full feeling. It's completely different. We are
mm,
not screen, we're not made for screen, we're performers, like us, any artist. We really need that connection with people in front of
mm,
us. So I think, and for them, it's not the same to watch like a movie or a film. So not the same.
mm. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. But what if I can just come back to the training part, that you say that the training at home. As somebody also mentioned to me that um, when it was Zoom, done on Zoom, then the teacher would stand in a studio or in a beautiful big house,
And
and then the dancers are all in
yeah,
this
I mean
very small.
that was. I mean, we were very like grateful that at least the teacher could go in
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
have like a space where there was like a proper filming. Like there was space that
exactly.
we
Yeah,
could see.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like embarrassing to see someone teaching you in these like amazing studios, and you were confined in your
in that,
your
yeah,
place, in your living room, like people maybe in the kitchen, people like
yeah.
I told you, like fortunately when I was in Italy, I had more facilities, so sometimes I could go
Mm,
to my rooftop in the building, so I had more
mm,
space, but
mm,
not everyone had that kind of
mm.
luck in a way. And
Yeah.
I mean, here in Norway, for example, the lockdown, it wasn't that long, but in Italy
Mm,
it was like 8, 9 weeks of
mm,
lockdown. It's like madness. Like
mm.
honestly,
And I hear also that there wasn't much freedom to go out and walk around and things like that. People quite confined to their homes.
yeah. I mean, here in Norway, fortunately, like there's always been like that freedom of like you can go for a walk, like to
Yeah.
avoid every people, everyone like around. Stuff like this has always been quite open about that. But like in Italy,
Mm,
when I was there, absolutely zero. Like honestly, they would arrest you if they would see you in the
mm,
street. They would ask you for which is the reason why you're outside right now. There is a curfew. I mean, it's like
mm,
it was a martial law. It felt like
mm.
so. Yeah, it's. I mean, it was a difficult as a human being, so not even as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
dancer. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, and also the thing that I think about when I think of the dancers also are that you have this social connection almost with other dancers the whole time. So in your careers, even when you started training from a young age, it's always in this group. It's always the social interacting
Definitely,
also. Yeah.
definitely. There's like
So how
this.
did you find the lonely, being isolated really from your colleagues?
I mean, like I have to say, when it's like a very short amount of time, it's nice because you can focus a bit more on yourself. Get back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
basics. Just like no distractions. You don't have to walk in. Some like ballet companies many times. There is like tension in
Mm,
between the dancers. I mean, there is like friendship. But there is even like competition. Of course, it's normal. It's
yeah,
our
yeah.
job. And so I would say like for a short period it was like, okay, that's nice, it's me, I can focus about myself, I can focus about my basic training and stuff like this.
Mm,
But I mean, you miss I mean, as a boy, I miss my uh, like colleagues, like the men
yes.
colleagues, that camaraderie, that
Mm,
pushing together
mm,
towards something. And something that I think everyone missed was like dancing duets and dancing
mm,
trios, and like really feel the connection of dancing with someone, to not
mm,
just self-absorbed in, okay, my pirouette are better now, my arabesque is more correct. No, it's more like, okay, I
mm,
want to feel another one, like another
mm.
person energy.
I think mm, maybe also that time when you start missing the person that annoys you or that irritates you, then you know.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I mean, it's just like that you are home and like, oh, I kind of miss a person, like energy, even like when it bothers me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But did you also think about your artistry, about the art and the artist who you are? And because I know in ballet, it's a lot of focus on technique and it's a lot of focus on that as well. So did in this time, did these thoughts come through your head? Like, why am I doing this and how important it
Yeah,
is
for
to me?
sure. For sure. Like I feel this was an extremely difficult moment for many dancers, because there are many dancers that they honestly live just for that, and
Mm,
when you take that away, yeah, probably I was fine for me. Of course, I missed dancing. I missed like the energy between the other people and dancing for someone. Like, because of course you just, as you said, like you focus on your training, but it's not the
yeah,
same. There is not that artistic growth in what you're doing, because you
yeah,
just miss
yeah.
like dancing. But of course, at the same time, there is a lot of thoughts in your head. You grow up, you question yourself in many things, and I think for many people has been a difficult moment because they felt completely like without purpose.
Mm,
um, and yeah, it's just hard. I think it's not just for just the dancers. I think any artist, you take away their art, and many of us will live just for that, so it is extremely challenging. And of course, I understand when there is people talking about, yeah, but you're not vital for the system, you're not vital for our society. And of course, if I compare to doctors in a moment like this, of course I understand, I agree with you, they are like they have the preference right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
But it's so, like, I realized, especially in my home country, that's Italy, and to see these amazing, beautiful theaters with such history and so many people dancing, and it's all closed, and it's like they can't get on with. It feels really sad, honestly, because yeah, like art is like, it's just like, it is vital in a way. It is vital for our soul. I think, like, you wrote me something about it, because
Yeah.
it provokes a discussion, a congregation of people, even like maybe a fight, but anything, it's just like provokes people to get together and exchange opinions and taste and everything. So it's definitely like a huge part of our life.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to see if you really go and look at what people did during lockdown, when everything was taken away, when shopping was taken away, and restaurants and all that, people reverted to doing some sort of art.
Yes,
They
it's
either started a hobby in the sense that, I don't know, sewing or knitting or baking
I
and
remember even just like there was this thing happening in Italy that suddenly people started to sing from the balcony.
oh
There was
yeah,
a
yeah,
huge thing that was like people started singing from the balcony because there was, I mean, it's the maximum expression of freedom.
yeah.
When everything gets taken away from you, like they can't take away what you feel, and what you feel is art.
Exactly. And this is what I think now we have to start thinking, how important is art, that when everything is taken away, this is what the nature of humans are, is to revert back to this type of thing, to how to express yourself and how to do something to make you feel better almost. And art is seen really as a entertainment, but it's more than entertainment.
Mm.
um
No, no,
and that is something
exactly.
that,
We were
yeah,
saying, as we were saying just before, it's just like for many people, it's a purpose of living. It's just like, it's
yeah,
honestly is not just a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's not entertainment. I mean, many people, they watch it as an entertainment, but I'm sure many people watch it as a need. They need to watch it. They need
yeah,
to hear music, like I can't even imagine, like my wife, she cannot stay 1 minute without listening to music. It's just like, it's a purpose of living. So it's honestly, and for us dancers is the same. Like, there are people that really live to dance and
mm.
live to come and watch us and support us. And yeah, definitely
Well,
it's
I many artists I speak to and musicians, when I start saying, okay, what is it? Why did you start in music? And then they would say something, when I was 4 years old, I heard the cello, the sound of the cello, and that really touched me. And then I became, then they started learning the cello or whatever music instrument, or even with dancers. And if you think of it that way, that there can be something that uh, touches you on such a deep level
even
that
when
it
you're that
that it
young.
changes your life,
Yeah,
then of course it has to be an important thing. Of
yeah,
course, then art has to be seen as an important thing.
for sure. I mean, anything. I mean, something like music. I mean,
Mm.
everything is music, from the klaxon of a car downstairs, from the heartbeat. Everything is
Yeah,
music. So
yeah.
it's just like, it's part of our normal life all the time, and provokes emotion, no matter what you want to think about. It's just
Mm.
like, it's something completely um, out of your hand. It just happens, you know,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
it's just something that touches you no matter what. Is you cannot decide, I don't like music. You will like music, some music, and won't like some other, but it's just like, it's the same of saying I don't like food. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. You will like some food, you won't like some food, but it's
Mm.
part of our daily life constantly. So
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so many cases, as you said, that like exactly a child of 3 4 years old and hears like a cello playing, or like
Mm.
or he sees Barishnikov in TV and he wants to dance, or Fred Astaire or Michael Jackson, anything, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like, is when it's that clear that something so like pure, without second thoughts, like a kid sees
Mm.
that and wants to do it, that's quite a clear um, indication that
Exactly. Yeah. But Luca,
it's.
yeah, how did you start dancing?
I started when I was very, very young. I started
Mm.
at 4 years old, and I was playing football at the time as well. I played football and danced for many years at the same time. My sister was dancing, and I remember that. I mean, of course, I've been told
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
I wanted really to do something with my sister, because I remember she was loving to dance, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to my sister. And they were like, but she's dancing, you know? And I was like, yeah, yeah, I know. Like, I like, and they could see that I was enjoying like music, and
yeah. Mm.
I remember they were asking some people, and they were like, oh yeah, but that's gonna be just, even, you know, even if he doesn't become a dancer, you know, it's gonna be great for him for coordination, for rhythm, you know. And it felt very just like natural. It felt
Yeah.
so such an easy, like I was like, oh, I think I want to do that. And they were like, sure, why not?
Mm.
And then of course, like from there I started. And I mean, when you start dancing when you're very young, it's more of a game, of course, like
Yeah.
professionally. It becomes maybe when you're 11, 12, then you start to understand, okay, this is what, like it becomes more serious, of course, more of a discipline.
Mm.
But he always felt very easy, like an easy evolution in it. And
Mm.
yep, so that's when I started at 4.
And playing football, was there is there in Italy this preconception that boys should not
Oh
dance,
yeah,
or
yeah.
is it quite?
There is still. I mean, because I'm a huge football fan as well. Since
Mm.
like family and everything, I'm a huge football fan.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed playing football. But of course, in school, it was much easier to say you play football than dancing. I mean,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know how is it everywhere else in the world, but unfortunately, still a big thing that
Mm.
kids. I mean, fortunately, I've always been a very charismatic person. So I've never been like, you know, I never experienced being bullied and stuff like
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
you know, like not everyone is so like self-confident or, you know,
mm.
charismatic. And of course, there is so much still bullying happening about it. I mean, it's a shame. It's 2021. I mean, open your head.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like your mind.
But and this is the reason also why I think it would be important to teach art in schools, so that children don't have, you know, or that they have more knowledge about this,
Yes.
and accepting it, a better acceptance of it. Yeah.
Exactly. As you said, it's like, I think, no, I think like this is definitely coming from ignorance of the matter. They don't know what it is. So
Yeah.
just like with ignorance comes hate, comes
Exactly.
liking, comes I don't want to accept because I don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
So like, and in many countries, if the only dancing or the only music that has been seen or heard is like television music or television dancing, it's like they don't really know what's theater. And you know,
Exactly.
it's like,
Mm.
and of course, if you don't educate people, they will never be interested in it. You know,
Mm.
so it would be a huge help for the
Mm.
whole ballet community, for example, which is now is a huge word. I mean, now
Mm.
it's an insanely huge word, the ballet community, to just educate people. educate people, because it's 2021 again. It's just should be
Exactly.
something completely normal. It's like, I am a doctor, I'm a bank, I work at a bank, I'm a dancer. It's the same
Yeah.
exactly. And it felt very strange in this period, of course, to feel I remember there was something going on in England
Mm,
where basically the dancers, the artists, but the dancers in particular, they were considered like the lowest point
mm,
of like value, basically the
mm.
lowest value for society. And again, as I told you, I understand if at the moment there is a world pandemic, of course I understand that doctors are more important, but it's just
Mm.
like seen so not valued. It's a bit of a shame still.
Well, yeah, I did an interview with Dr. Lovat, and he is a dance psychologist,
Okay.
and but he actually had colon cancer
Okay.
in this time in Corona, and for his rehabilitation he danced,
Mhm.
and he's got the all clear now. He's healed from cancer. I'm not saying it's because of the dance, but I'm
No,
saying that
it's definitely a
mentally,
positive. Yeah. It's a
yeah,
positive attitude. It's a positive. Yeah. It's it's like filling your soul with like positive things. It's like doing what you love. It's so. It's
yeah,
basic human needs. Honestly.
yeah, because he said that the physiotherapist gave him exercises to do, and what he then did at home was trying to put that into movement, and into dance. And yeah, I mean, he's now dancing all over the internet. So it's so
That's
amazing. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I mean, but I mean, I'm not surprised in the slightest. Like
yeah,
something. Yeah. It's positivity in your life,
yeah,
doing
yeah.
what you love, and clearly he loves to dance, and that's
Mm.
no question that helped him, of course, with the medicine and all the
Yeah,
treatment,
yeah,
but that helped him mentally
yeah. Mentally,
so
yeah.
so much to get over whatever it was his like huge problem
Mm.
health-wise.
Well, if you think of it this way, that also you hear many times of doctors doing operations with music, with the music playing.
Yes.
So in all aspects, I think music, if we say now that in the medical field, that's of course in this pandemic very, very important, but I do think that art and music and all of this, plays as an important role in our well-being in this time, especially now in this pandemic.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Mm.
It's our like mental health. It's the mental health.
Exactly.
Imagine some like even one of the best doctors in the world, and is like
Mm.
working 24/7 to save patients, and you take all hours away from him. How is he
Yeah.
gonna breathe? How is he gonna like uh,
Exactly.
switch off? How is he gonna? And it's just for the entertainment. It's just actually for the well-being of his soul, of his mind, of his everything. Completely agree. It's like it's
Yeah.
vital for us.
Yeah. Um, but tell me, what did you do, on a lighter note? What did you do in lockdown, apart from trying to do the bar on a chair or a
I
floor
mean,
bar?
like,
Did you
it
do some
was
hobbies
as
or
I told you,
something?
as I told you, I had the luck in a way to go home to my family,
Oh, yes.
which of course is an upside, is like a blessing in disguise during this really hard time, is because I would never be able to spend that much time with my
Mm,
family, because of course we live in different countries and I'm always working. So during this pandemic, of course, there was this lockdown part, and then there was for example, the family side, and thinking even about spending more time in something that you couldn't do, like many people studied. For example, if you want to watch more movies, or if you want to read a book that you never had the chance
exactly.
to read, and
Mm.
yeah, it was just like to focus a bit on stuff that you wouldn't normally do during, you know, like your very stressful career, because like, I mean, of course, dancer's career is very short but very stressful. It's very
Mm.
full, and then of course the biggest thing, of course, during the lockdown for me, I proposed to my wife.
Oh,
There
that's
was
so wonderful.
So that was a big, I mean, of course, because
Mm.
I was planning it since a while, but then I was like, you know what, I can't wait anymore. Like, this is the
Mm.
right moment. I'm not gonna let a pandemic dictate the timings of my life.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
you are 100% right. Oh, I love this.
yeah. And so this was very special, of course, for me. And fortunately, as I told you, here in Norway, we could manage to really get back much quicker than so many places. But of course, it's still hard to hear many colleagues from all around the world. I mean, especially US, I have many American friends
Yeah.
that it is, yeah, it's a
Mm.
mess.
But I just want to ask, so you got married then now in
I
lockdown?
mean, like I proposed, I call
Oh,
her
you
my wife. She's my wife to be.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy for you and for her, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
a
you are
great
100% right
dancer.
there in all over the world still is but a lot of restrictions and yeah, not everybody. Although I think most ballet studios are open that at least dancers can go in the studio, but I mean the performances, that's the part. But it's also, like you say, this family time, and because dancers, your lives are actually from a very young age you are training, and you don't have this life of just being a free teenager, and you
No,
know
I never experienced that. I never
yes,
experienced the
yeah.
teenager phase. I mean, like already when I was 11, 12, I was training in a professional school in Rome,
Mm,
and I was working, I was going to school, getting out of school, and there was like 6, 7 hours every day of dancing. And
mm,
then around 15, 16 years old, I moved to Monaco, Monte Carlo, to the Academy Princess Grace, where I was even more, of course, just from the
mm.
morning till the evening. I was there training, training, training. You know, there is no time. You know, there is no time
Yeah,
to go to parties. Of course, you try to find your way, and
yeah,
you're like
yeah.
to buy yourself some of that like teenager time.
Mm,
But as I told you, because it's such a short career, it stops so early, it starts so early. So already when you're 12, 13, you really are, if you want to do it professionally, it's really there, you know.
yeah.
Uh, you have no time for anything else.
Yeah, so this is probably also then why, now that you could spend with family, or, do these things that you normally didn't have time for, even if it's just not thinking of ballet the whole time, because I think that
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
yeah. Mm.
yeah, yeah, like people, just normal people,
Yeah, yeah,
like people outside the ballet world. It just feels nice.
exactly.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
not being in that environment all the time, which of course is what we love to do. We chose this
yeah.
life and everything, but during all this horrible period, that was definitely a blessing to be
Mm.
just like normal people. Oh, this is what like a normal 24 to 25-year-old should feel like.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't feel like yeah, exactly, someone
Mm.
someone that is so self-absorbed in his career. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Do you think after this pandemic you will think about that also? That other life, that there's another life outside ballet, or that there's other things to do than just be this 100% focused on that.
Yes, no, definitely agree. Even with this pandemic, I mean, fortunately, I have a life contract here in Norway, so I was very safe, you know. But so many people, like not just here, everywhere, they
Yeah.
couldn't be renewed. They had to stop their contract, you know, and And at the same time, is the worst thing of this pandemic is the uncertainty. It's like,
mm,
will I be able to perform? Will I be able to audition somewhere? Even like
mm,
I can't imagine all the people coming from the schools right now. Their last year of, I don't know, Royal Ballet, Upper School, Paris Opera, and maybe, you know, this is the year where, okay, now I have to do this audition, this audition, this audition, so I can start my ballet career, and everything was canceled. Everything is blocked.
yeah,
No one is hiring because, of course, there is no money. There is no, you know, like they have to be extremely careful. I think we are gonna skip maybe a full generation of dancers because
mm,
like there are some people. Doesn't matter how talented you are, but you know, if it's such a wrong timing, it's gonna be very, very hard for some people, and it's such, yeah, it is a nightmare to think about it. Fortunately for me, it was very safe, but of course,
mm,
seeing this situation, then I'm looking at what's gonna be after. You know, it's like
yeah,
I have to have like a plan. You know, like I don't have to have a plan B right now.
mm,
But for when I will be done, 41 years old, what I will be starting is gonna start a new chapter. But
mm,
I honestly don't know if I will want to stay even in the ballet world. I could even
mm,
just start something completely fresh, and this will
mm.
be just a beautiful memory of
Of
a
that,
chapter of
yeah.
my life.
Mm. It's interesting what you say about the dancers finishing this year or last year that they graduated. I was actually talking to ballet teachers about that as well, and it's like you say, that transition. And I was actually wondering, because I think with musicians it's a bit different. Musicians can go freelance, so if they don't play in an
Yeah.
orchestra, you know, if you have a violin, you can, or some
I
sort
mean,
of instrument, yeah. But
it,
dancers,
no, but it exists. Like, of course, the freelancing career in the ballet dancer,
yeah,
but
but not as much, yeah.
it's just like to be a successful freelancer. I
Mm,
think you have to have a big name already. You know, you are already like an established dancer, and then you can freelance because like everyone knows you. You just pick the job that you want to pick.
yeah.
To start a career as a freelancer when you're
Mm,
like maybe 18, that is really unsafe, and
mm.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how.
think. And I think for people who go to schools like the Royal Ballet School, for example, or these academies that really train classical ballet dancers,
Yeah.
they want to go to a company. They want to do these, you know, this is the career that they want to do. And so, yeah, so like you say, there will be a time now where there's no auditions
It's
and,
gonna be extremely
mm,
difficult for many, probably many talented people. But
mm,
I understand this, and I'm very, very sad for them, of course. But at the same
mm,
time, I understand completely
mm,
the head of the companies, you know, director and stuff like this, because
exactly.
they're like,
Yeah.
we can't hire, you know, we can't,
Yeah.
we don't have the contracts, we don't have that safety right now, and of course, I'm sure many, many companies like this one here in Oslo, I'm
Mm,
sure they're trying their best to really, don't let people go, or like, okay, I'll give you 3 months more, I'll give you 6 months more, let's try to work together in this. But at the same
yeah.
time, the situation is this, it's like, it's more than a year than this started. And I mean, some numbers are still
Mhm.
crazy to think about, like the
Mm,
cases and the death every day is like, it's crazy. It's like,
yeah.
it's so uncertain. That's the thing, it's uncertainty. That's
I
the
think
word
that's
from it.
the,
It's not, there is not a deadline, because if everyone was like on the 10th of May, everything is finished, or
yeah.
like 20th of June is everything finished. But we don't have that. It's just like,
Mm,
it's so difficult to um, foresee what is gonna be, what's gonna happen. And so for a job employer,
mm.
I understand them. I understand them
And
completely.
I think for the artists, it's also this thing where, like you say, you know, then they hear, oh, we will be performing this, we hear that there will be audience or we will be performing, and then a week before that, then it's all the, it's first all the rehearsals, and then a week before that, no, there's another lockdown coming, or no, there won't be audience.
happened to
It's
us.
always this, the
It's
disappointment.
a disappointment, of course. Like, I mean, everything started 1 year ago with that huge premiere. I mean, there were some masterpieces in it, like some stuff that many people, they were like, this is a career highlight. And so when that happened, it was heartbreaking. And then, of course, this company tried really to, take some of those pieces and do it again in a different way, like in a digital way, maybe, and stuff like this. But yes, it's a constant fear of every time you're so close, maybe months and months of preparation, and then the day before we have one case in the company, we have to close. It's like this. And at the moment we're being super careful. The company is testing twice a week. There is all the measures, the measurements to be safe and everything, but I mean, it's so unpredictable, everything. And we'll see how it goes, but I fear for this season, at least the end of the season, when it's going to be June, July, I don't know how much hope we can have to have like more, to have like an audience live, but we have to see.
But Luca, what is your wish for when this is all over?
My wish,
apart from getting married?
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's hard to say. My wish is just like to go back to, at least for us dancer, into a more to a normality, to what we always gave as given. For us, taking class all together was given. Now it's not given. Like for us was like this is normal. To go back to that feeling of normality, that you don't have to be so careful about everything, or to have so many rules or restrictions. Like, I think that's the wish for all of us, like to get that sense of normal life back, I guess. And but at the same time, to learn from it, to not to make to have this year and a half for now of hard moment, to really like to keep that and not let it go. Let's not forget what just happened in this past 1 year and a half. But I guess the wish is to go back to what we always felt it was normal and given, which is not now, which is something that when we will have it again, it will feel incredible, for sure.
I think everybody has been affected by this, and it's been such a long time that there must be, I think, in us all a difference. I think even if we go back to the normal, it wouldn't be a new normal. It would be, because we will all be changed, and we will do things differently. Yeah,
it's gonna be a different world, because like, I mean, we're not gonna forget, like we can't forget what just happened. It was like nothing ever happened that on such a global scale.
Exactly.
It's like hit everyone in the same exact way, like from rich to poor, like everyone has been hit in the same exact way. So of course we can't forget that, and we just have to adapt, as you say, to this new normality. But I still think like that when we will have that feeling of normality, it's gonna feel really like special. Definitely
I think so too. Yeah, I think we will. There will be a time where we will experience everything for the first time again. Like, this will be the first time we went back to the theater.
I mean, just having a beer with a friend without thinking about the mask and the 2 meters rule, and like, this is, you can't go here, they don't sell alcohol at this time, like stuff like that we don't even think about. It's just like, let's go and have a beer, or exactly, go to the movies. It's just like that you don't have to, that you can be as well more spontaneous.
Exactly.
Like whatever you want to do, oh,
Mm.
sure, let's do that, you know, because we live in a normal world, in a free
Yeah.
world, and at the moment it doesn't feel like that.
Mm.
But yeah, we're gonna experience that first. It's gonna
Mm.
be, yeah, very special to feel that freedom again. It's the freedom.
Exactly. Well, for the sake of my children, I have to, the masks will be, it will be a good thing if we don't wear masks anymore, because I didn't recognize my daughter on Friday because of the mask.
Yeah, yeah,
And I didn't recognize her, and she was like, hello, it's me.
yeah. No, yeah.
So
I mean, it's just like it's getting really heavy as well. Imagine, can you imagine in the studio when you have to dance with masks,
yeah.
where yeah, like that's not possible.
Yeah. Now, I must say, of everything, the masks, I find it very difficult. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
uh,
it's
close.
to
Yeah,
being able to breathe properly.
yeah,
And I understand. I completely
yeah.
understand why they ask us to do this, but it is
Mm.
getting heavy
That,
after 1.5 years.
mm. Yeah, yeah. No, I can just imagine. But Luca, this was so lovely to talk to you,
Lovely to talk to you, and nice to meet you again.
and nice to meet you. And oh, I'm so excited that you're getting married and that you proposed in lockdown. This is such a lovely. This will be such a lovely memory of lockdown.
Yes, definitely. Oh, for sure. It's gonna be very
Yes.
special. I wanted to
Yeah.
have like a, you know, I was like, this 2020 was hell, but I'm gonna have a good memory out of it.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. And I wish that if you remember, please send me a picture when you get married. I would so love to see
Of
that.
course.
Yes.
I will.
That would be so wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you
And
very
have a
much.
lovely afternoon.
Thank
Okay.
you. You too. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye.